So there are major leaks coming out for the new Legend of Zelda movie, and it's actually looking pretty good from what I've seen so far. And my hope is fairly high but I also have some concerns I would like to get into when talking about this. Leaked Zelda movie set video reveals Link's green tunic and hints at major character reveal. And of course, we have a picture from Breath of the Wild, or this one. This is not Tears of the Kingdom. This is Breath of the Wild, and it looks great. Nintendo's live-action Legend of Zelda movie has officially begun filming in New Zealand, and a newly leaked on-set video is giving fans their first real look at the project. And here we have the video, which I already have pulled up right here. And of course, right here, off the get-go, we see Zelda in a lightish blue tunic, which matches the Breath of the Wild uh, design for her character. And of course, I'm not going to play the video. I'm just going to look, and I want to comment on one thing real quick before we get anything. Right here, you see the Hyrule emblem on the horse. And I just got to say, I like it so far. I absolutely do love that. I think that's great. And it adds a more unique feel to the movie already. And that, like, again, like I said, I have some concerns I want to get addressed and of course, anyway, we see Zelda. She walks up to a woman who's standing in front of a horse, which I wonder, is that a Pona? No, I don't think that's a Pona. I wonder. I hope we do see a Pona in it. And of course, like this woman right here, people have speculations and people are theories are running wild about who she's playing. This woman's playing, and of course, not the biggest lore nerd when it comes to Legend of Zelda, but I do have some curiosity about this. I have some interest in this. I would love to see what she's playing in. Her outfit seems a lot more padded, to say the least, than Zelda's here. Zelda's looks more royal, more higher quality, while hers looks more padded and more like for warrior. So maybe, and of course, you see her wielding a blade here, a sheathed sword here. So, and she looks like to be teaching Zelda something or lecturing her on something. So we'll see. And of course, well, here we see the pointy ears, which good addition. I'm glad they introduced that. Just because, and they talk from a few seconds, and then she walks away, and then we see Zelda working on the horse, taking care of the horse, and of course, so far that looks great. I think her outfit looks fine. I think I have no criticisms with it so far. And of course, we also have some footage of of Link. So in the footage, actress Bo Bragginson appears as Zelda wearing a blue dress and dark leggings, clearly inspired by the Breath of the Wild era. The outfit is adapted for live action, but maintains a recognizable royal aesthetic fans associate with the character. And of course, another video is out, and we have more leaks. Right here, we have again another shot of Bo as Zelda right here, and we don't see it's harder to see her right here because there's leaves, not leaves, but just a tree blocking it, and then there's this guy, and then right here is where it gets kind of cool. Right here we see the first look at Ainsworth as Link, and his hair looks kind of dirty blondish, like light brown, dirty blonde. Uh, which again, I don't know how to feel about that. I think it'd be kind of cool to see him be blonde, but we'll see. Maybe it's just the lighting that makes it look this way. But so far, like this reminisces the classic design of Link. The leather around his the leather belt and all that looks fine. I'm not complaining about the look so far. And of course, we don't see what the front looks like. And like for example, I like it. You see the gloves, you see uh everything. It looks great so far. And of course, he puts the jacket on to cover it up because, all that. And again, another shot we see of Bo as Zelda. She looks good in it so far. And I'm not complaining. Anyway, like I said, I think that's kind of cool. Link also appears briefly in the video portrayed by Benjamin Evan Ainsworth. Although the shot is quick and partially obscured, one thing stands out immediately. He is wearing the classic green tunic, not a modern variation, not an alternate color scheme like the blue champion's tunic. He's in the iconic green look that's defined the character for decades. And yes, like that's I'm so glad to see that. That was kind of a given, but that's already given me hope that they're actually caring about this because he looks to be in the classic green while she's in the kind of Breath of the Wild kind of uh, themed attire. So there looks like they're acknowledging both the newer edition and the iconic edition of Link and Zelda. So I think that's great. And this news right here. Production is underway around the Wellington region where principal photography will run through early April 26. Nintendo and Sony currently plan to release the film on May 7th, 2027. Director Wes Ball, Maze Runner and Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, is bringing Hyrule to life with what appears to be a grounded visual style. The natural landscapes seen in the leaked clips, forests, hillside clearings, and practical set dressings give the impression of a world built with physical locations rather than heavy reliance on digital backdrops. And I'm so glad because, of course, the fact that it's taking place in New Zealand is already a good sign because there's a lot of free and open spaces to record to film stuff there, and I think that's great. And of course, like I said, there's a subject of discussion with this, and it's who this woman is particularly. And now, as this article goes on to address, people are speculating that it's Impa, which I'm probably mispronouncing that. And now, since there has not been any confirmed casting announcements for the character, people are just speculating. But that's what some people are coming to the conclusion of, is that this could be Impa from the Legend of Zelda games, and apparently she's been in multiple of them. And like I said, I'm not the most well versed when it comes to the games, and I probably have to sit down and play some of them again if I can get my hands on a GameCube or NES or 64 or anything like that. But again, there's a lot of speculations. People are not complaining about it because she looks pretty great in the leak so far. And as this article says, based on the costume and interaction with Zelda, many fans are speculating that this could be Impa, the longtime Sheikah elder who has appeared across the franchise since the original NES title. Impa has taken different forms over the years: mentor, warrior, guardian, but she is almost always tied closely to Zelda's lineage and the Sheikah's ancient role in Hyrule. There has been no confirmation of Impa appearing in the movie, and no casting announcements identifying who may be playing her, but the possibility alone has fueled excitement, especially for fans who want the film to embrace deeper elements of the lore. And again, I think this is a great, strong first impression, and of course, it's a leak. It's not official. It's a leak and all that. So I think what I've seen so far is great. And I want to just FYI before I go on any further. If you guys do not see the videos in this videos, the leaks in this video, it's because I had to cut them out of the video, and so Nintendo wouldn't have an aneurysm. If you If you want to go check out these videos, I will link the article in the description. And like the of course the videos are linked in the article. I recommend giving it a read yourself. It is a good read. And even though even though the videos are not exactly the highest quality, I I think this gives us a good look at what we should expect from the film. And of course, that's all we have. I think over the course of the next few months, we will obviously be seeing a lot more leaks, and I will discuss them and talk about them if you guys want that, because I'm absolutely invested in keeping an eye on this movie. Although I will say this, I have three concerns and one complaint that it's kind of pointless to complain about, but still, and I know I'm not dealing with it. Not I'm My concern, one of my biggest concerns, is that this will feel generic. And for those of you who don't know, who probably aren't keeping up with all the fantasy projects coming out the last few years, with like Rings of Power, The Witcher, Wheel of Time, and others that exist. There's a post that goes around, and I mentioned this on the matinee show yesterday. There's a post going around where it shows 4 pictures from 4 different fantasy series, and you can't tell them apart. You cannot tell them apart unless you know the shows perfectly, like unless you've seen the shows. And people are like, well, no shit, that's how it works. If you haven't seen Lord of the Rings and Chronicles of Narnia, you can tell them apart. They look distinct. If you look at Conan the Barbarian and Excalibur, the King Arthur movie from the 1980s, you can tell them apart. They look distinct. They have their own personality, their own character, their own feeling in the world. Many fantasy series nowadays don't have that. They feel generic, mediocre, and there's no flair. There's no unique elements to it. There's no swords don't look unique. Um, and it shows that these people who make these shows don't understand fantasy, especially when you're dealing with a world like Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. There's so much depth to that world, and then there's so much depth to Chronicles of Narnia, which is going to be bastardized. It's going to be destroyed. The new movies. I have no hope for it. I have no hope. And I'm not rooting for its failure. I want it to succeed. I want it to be good. I do. I love the Chronicles of Narnia. No hope for it. Anyway, back to this. My big fear is that this will look generic. Like so far, these look fine, but I am concerned that these outfits will look so bland and so copy and paste, like it looks like from every other fantasy series we've gotten in the last few years. And like I don't want that to be the case, because the Legend of Zelda um lore and world has so much unique attire, and there's so many unique creatures in the there's elves and all that, and it's just so fascinating to see this. But I want to just say this, harkening back to like some of the creatures kind of might look wonky with realistic CGI. I don't know how they do them, and I don't know if they're going to be in this movie. I would love to um, see them in the movie. Some of these creatures in the movie, but like the spider, the iconic spider from like Ocarina of Time, that might look wonky and kind of creepy. And of course, that's fine if it looks creepy. But I feel like you could capture more of the vibe of like these movies if they were animated. And that's kind of like my big gripe is I wanted this movie to be animated, like the Mario movie. because people are speculating that it's going to build up to a Super Smash Bros. Movie, which we'll see. But I don't know. I'd much prefer it to be animated, and I know I'm not the only one who has this gripe, but of course, there's nothing we can do about it. They're already filming the movie, and so far, it does look fine. I'm not mad or concerned with the leaks, or fearful of the leaks. To say, I like there are some concerns, but so far it looks good. I'm not complaining, and I want, I really hope it does succeed, and I think Bo and Ainsworth are pretty great casting choices for Link and Zelda, and I'm just glad. I'm glad to see this, and I really want this to be good. And of course, these are probably not going to look as great as they can be until we get official photos of official, like, official Nintendo released photos and all that. So again, I like what I see, and I would like to know what you guys think about this in the comments below, because again, I know there's more knowledgeable people on Legend Zelda lore and all that than I am. There are far more knowledgeable people than I am. So let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. Like, subscribe, comment, and share on your preferred social media platform. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, and God bless.